Hello YouTubers. I've had some interest in the basics of getting started reloading. So I thought I'd try to make a video and keep it just strictly to the point and make it as short as possible. And if there's any other interest, we could expand it from there. But to get started reloading, the first thing you need is a press. And this is an RCBS rock chucker press. I believe it's considered a D press because it goes all the way around. They make one that's a C press. It doesn't have this section in here. I don't know if they still make it or not, but this is a lot more solid because there's the possibility of this flexing when you run your case up into the die. This is the press, this is the ram, this is the shell holder, and this is where your dies screw in. Pretty much all the dies that we're going to use are the same thread. And there's rifle dies, there's usually a 2-die set. One is for sizing and depriming. This is your depriming pin. It screws in here. And after you've got them set, you lock this in, so then all you have to do is screw it right down to there and you're ready to go. And it's set at the right height. Once you have your reloading press, you can reload just about any of the cartridges we are going to be using. I made some notes trying to make it short and to the point, but this is the rock chucker press. They call it the rock chucker Supreme press. You can get it for about $155, just the press. You can buy the rock chucker Supreme Master Reloading Kit for $356, and that comes with, I printed it out, but it's not a great picture. See if I can do it. There it is. You got your press, you got your powder measure, you got a priming tool back there, you got a spear reloading manual, a funnel, your pad for oiling your cases and some oil, a scale. I can hardly see this stuff. That looks like a deburring tool, and I can show you all this stuff. Looks like it comes with some Allen wrenches for adjusting things. I think that's all. Oh, and there's right there is a loading block for putting your cartridges in, cases in. So let me show you the real thing on most all that stuff. Okay, here's the stuff in the picture pretty much. Mine's not all RCBS. This is Lyman, Lyman, Lyman. Here's an RCBS. This is RCBS. This is Lee. This was a Lyman. Lyman is just the manufacturer. Okay, here's the scales. You need a set of scales to weigh your powder charge. If you ever get a bullet that you don't know the weight of, you can weigh it on your scales and get the weight of the bullet. Always zero your scales out right here with everything on zero before you start, because you just move them a little bit and they could be off a little. So always zero them out. Let me get that picture again. I go over this stuff. I don't have the current spear manual. This is my Nosler reloading manual. I like manuals. I like reading them. You got to remember that just because we got the internet now doesn't mean we'll always have the internet. So it's a good idea to have a hard copy of a loading manual. We're preppers. We're prepping for whatever. So here's the loading block. This is what you can set your cartridges in. I used to use one like this. I made a bunch of my own out of oak. Here's a large case, and there's the small. They were easy to make, and I kind of like making stuff for myself anyway, so I made a bunch of them so you could be doing a whole bunch of cartridges. You just pull one out. If you got them all filled in here, you just take one out, stick it in the press, size it, go through all of them. Then you go back through and prime all of them. This is a priming tool. It's got a shell holder. This is one for, I think it was for my 4570. You've got lists here. With this, it tells you which shell holder to use for which cartridge. This is for the Lee. That's what I have here, is a Lee Auto Prime. You stick that in there, it's spring loaded, you push it down a little bit so your shell holder can go in there, and then when it comes back up there's a little plastic piece that goes in there. Then you just slip your cases in there, throw the lever, and it pushes a primer up in it. Pull it down, you can take the case out and it'll be primed. You can put 100 primers in there and they just feed down in there, and each time you push the lever, you see the little plunger coming up. It pushes the primer into the cartridge primer pocket, and you take it out and another primer will drop in there. I've had this one since the early 80s. That's why it's all yellow. I bought one off of eBay because I just saw it on there cheap. So I have another whole primer. That's why I like it so much. I've got a backup. There is one piece in here that tends to get broke, and it's that little piece right there. It'll break, and you can get them from Lee. They'll replace it for you. So this is your priming tool. Kind of get stuff out of the way a little bit. This is your deburring tool. When you're using new brass or once fired brass that was factory loaded, you have to, I'm not going to do that one. I used it. And it's pretty much universal. It'll go from 22 caliber clear up into the 40s. Get it over here, we can see it. See how that one just barely slips on there? You just give it a little turn and it chamfers the inside edge. You turn it around and chamfer the outside edge. I don't know if you can see the shiny now where it was chamfered, but it'll do that. This is a 25 caliber. It just goes on there a little farther. Got a 45 ACP. It'll go clear onto that and take care of chamfering that. So you need a chamfering tool. Here's your powder funnel. You drop your powder in there, and the button underneath side's funnel too, so it'll fit on a 22 cartridge, which is, this is a 22 Hornet, and all the powder will end up inside the case clear up to a 45. All that powder will end up right in the case rather than pouring around the edges, because it's funneled there and it's funneled there. So that's something you need to have. This is a case luber. I don't use that anymore. I'll show you what I do use, but you used to put oil on there, or a grease, roll your cartridge on it, stick it in the shell holder, and it won't stick in your sizing die. That's a big problem. Those will stick, they gall going in, and the two different metals, and you'll rip the rim right off the case trying to pull it back out. It'll be a hard deal to get out. I use this, I don't know why they shrink up like that, but I get this from Dillon. It's just a spray lube. Shake it up, get all your cases in there, and just give them a squirt on one side, turn around, give them a mist on the other side, and you're good to go. Now on pistol cartridges, you're probably going to use carbide dies. and you don't have to worry about them sticking in there. You don't have to worry, you don't have to lube pistol cases, straight wall pistol cases. So I've got we did the press. Here's my powder measure. This is what I use. I have it mounted over here on the side. You just throw that down and it's going to drop a powder charge out here. I always set this, if I'm loading pistol cartridges, I'll set it right on what I want, because it is pretty accurate. But if I'm loading rifle cartridges and I'm wanting to load them for precision accuracy, I drop the powder charge just a little bit less than what I need, and then I weigh it. And then I have what they call a powder trickler, which is something that isn't in this kit, but there's so much stuff that's not in that kit that once you start reloading, you'll start collecting so much more stuff. This here, you pour the powder in there, and you see that little hole in that tube? That lets powder drop into this tube, and it's threaded on the inside, so as you turn it, powder will start working its way down there, and you just set it so it will trickle into your scale, and then you can bring it up to exactly what you want. And it really does make a big difference on the accuracy of a gun. And like a buddy of mine used to say, I've never seen a gun that was too accurate. So that's the basic stuff. This will get you reloading. The press, did I say a set of dies? You need a set of dies for the caliber you're loading, the chambering. This is 25-06 dies. I've got a whole bunch of dies. I load a whole bunch of different stuff. This is the basics though. If you have this, the only other thing you're going to need are cases, bullets, powder, and primers. And after, let's see, I started loading in '79. Don't even want to figure out how many years that's been. But you can see I've accumulated a lot of powder. This shelf here is all different bullets. Why won't this thing turn? That's all cast bullets that I cast myself. Right there's a bunch more in these trays. These are all the little parts for reloading. I'll save the rest of this for another video if you're interested. We'll go a little deeper into it. I hope this helps you get started. My idea is, let's see how to put this. This is a lot of money to get started reloading, but once you have this stuff, you'll be able to shoot a lot more than you would if you didn't do your own reloading. I can't see how people can afford to buy reloading equipment, and I can't see how people can afford to shoot. It's just gone out of sight on all this stuff. I'm going to try to find a book and show you what I did years ago. Okay, if you're not careful, you'll end up with this. There's a tub of 9mm 44 mag stuff that's dirty. Misfit stuff in that little thing right there. Just ruined cases and stuff. Slingshot ammo. Slugs and bandoleros. 8-shot that I reloaded. Muzzleloader balls. You know what those are. I still haven't used them. A whole tub of 45s. That's a bunch of 9-shot. More shotgun stuff. 3.5 inch mags. Some 7.5 shot. And we'll turn around here. Oh, this might be something Butcher BLS will be interested in. Not to get off the subject too much. My grandpa had he was a coach of a baseball team, baseball team. I thought this was dated somewhere. I think it was in the 40s. He had the catcher's mitt for the ball team. I still have it. I think it has a date of 1943 or 1946, something like that. Then we got some shotgun slugs, and we have buckshot and 20 gauge and 16 gauge and 410s, and then we got more ammo down here. There's my 9mm I've loaded in those blue things. Old shotgun shells. 220. If you look there, you can see 223 brass. That's a whole box. 32 H&R mag. 40s. I don't even have a 40. All kinds of ammo. This is all my brass down here. I put them in those tubs and they either say clean or dirty. Then we come around here. All my different ammo. I might have gave you a peek of my guns through there. I didn't really want to do that. .22 rimfire stuff, and then more tubs of, I think this is mostly my dirty stuff that needs cleaned. But after 30 some years, you accumulate a lot of different stuff. And there's a progressive press that I use, my Dillon. And this is my Mech progressive 12 gauge. These are my die sets for the Dillon. Shell holders for the Dillon. It gets kind of messy over here. There's a bunch of my loading blocks, wads for shotgun shells. And if you step back here, if I can, I got shotgun shells down there. All different kinds of stuff tucked away in here. You can see how I've got these there's another this is an RCBS, I believe. This is made in Hong Kong, I don't know. There's a powder funnel. And then I have a 17 Remington, so I had to buy a powder funnel for that. Whoops. It's a lot smaller there. I think that's about it. Let's go see how this video turned out and how long it is. Thanks for watching.